The janitor who died a millionaire, his secret shocked everyone. Imagine walking past the same old janitor every day. His clothes are worn out. His car is old. He never talks much. And he spends his days sweeping floors, taking out trash, and cleaning up after everyone else. Now imagine finding out that this same man was secretly worth millions of dollars. Not 1 million, not 2 million, but enough money to completely change the lives of countless people. How is that possible? How can someone spend their entire life earning an ordinary paycheck and still die a millionaire? Was it luck, a hidden inheritance, a lottery ticket, or was there something else hiding in plain sight? Stay with me until the end because the answer is far more surprising than you think. In a small American town lived a man named Ronald James Reed. There was nothing extraordinary about him. He wasn't a CEO. He wasn't a famous entrepreneur. He wasn't a celebrity. Most people knew him as a janitor, the kind of person you barely notice. The kind of person society often overlooks. Every morning he woke up early. He went to work, did his job, returned home, and repeated the same routine for decades. Nothing about his life suggested wealth. Nothing. If you saw him walking down the street, you would probably assume he was struggling financially. And that's exactly what everyone thought. But they were wrong, very wrong. Ronald had a habit. A habit so simple that most people ignored it. And yet that habit would eventually make him richer than many doctors, lawyers, and business owners. But before we reveal what it was, there's something important you need to know. Ronald wasn't born rich. In fact, he grew up during difficult times. Money was scarce, life was tough, and every dollar mattered. Many people who grow up in those circumstances spend the rest of their lives trying to escape poverty. Ronald did something different. He learned something that most people never do. Something that would quietly transform his future. Years passed. Then decades. The world changed. Technology changed. Governments changed. Entire industries appeared and disappeared. But Ronald remained the same. Simple, quiet, disciplined. While others upgraded the cars, Ronald kept driving old ones. While others bought expensive houses, Ronald lived modestly. While others spent money to impress strangers, Ronald wasn't interested. People often mistake simplicity for failure. And that's exactly what happened here. Everyone looked at Ronald and saw an ordinary janitor. Nobody looked deeper. Nobody asked questions. Nobody knew what was happening behind the scenes. And that's where the story gets interesting. You see, every time Ronald earned money, he resisted the temptation that traps most people. The temptation to spend everything. Instead, he kept putting aside a portion of his income. Month after month, year after year, decade after decade. It didn't look impressive. It didn't make headlines. Nobody applauded him. But something powerful was happening. While Ronald slept, his money was working. While Ronald worked, his money was working. While Ronald ate, traveled, and lived his life, his money was still working. Most people work for money. Ronald figured out how to make money work for him. And that made all the difference. Years turned into decades. His investments continued growing, slowly, quietly, almost invisibly. Most people would have quit long before seeing results. Most people want immediate rewards. They want success now, results now, money now. Ronald was different. He was willing to wait. And waiting is a superpower that very few people possess. Then came the moment nobody expected. Ronald Reed passed away in 2014. The news saddened those who knew him. But what happened next stunned everyone. When people began examining his estate, they discovered something unbelievable. The quiet janitor wasn't poor. He wasn't even comfortable. He was a millionaire. In fact, he had accumulated around $8 million. $8 million. The man everyone ignored. The man everyone underestimated. The man who spent years cleaning floors. Had quietly built a fortune that shocked an entire community. The reason this story fascinates so many people is because it challenges what we believe about success. We often think wealth comes from extraordinary talent, extraordinary opportunities, or extraordinary luck. Sometimes it does. But Ronald's story reveals another path. A quieter path. A slower path. A path built on patience, discipline, and consistency. Qualities that don't look exciting on social media, but often produce extraordinary results. Time you see someone living a simple life, remember Ronald Reed. Because appearances can be deceiving. The loudest people aren't always the richest. The flashiest people aren't always the most successful. And sometimes the person everyone overlooks is quietly building something remarkable. The secret wasn't hidden in a lottery ticket. The secret wasn't hidden in a business empire. The secret wasn't hidden in luck. The secret was hiding in plain sight all along. And in the end, Ronald Reed proved that extraordinary results don't always come from extraordinary lives. The secret wasn't how much he earned. The secret was what he did with what he earned. Studio microphone fire.